5 bass drum warm-up exercises. We're going to get right to it. Now, quickly, if you've been around this channel for a while, you will know I am not a proponent of passive stretching. If you're brand new here, go back and watch some of the prior videos, but long story short, so we can get right to the exercises, passive stretching is the type of stretching where you push yourself further back than your body can go actively. It is outside of the wheelhouse of what you can control, which means that if you cannot control it, you can't control it. And the likelihood of risk increases a lot as far as joint structure damage and stress on your body. Alternatively, there's one more thing we have to consider. If your muscles can only actively pull you so far, there has to be a sacrifice for you to go further, and your body does not loosen up. It actually decreases in its ability to generate tension. It actually decreases strength and force production so you can go further. So if you stretch too much as a drummer passively, specifically passively, in most tissues, the joint stress goes up and your ability to generate force goes down, which is the opposite reaction that we're going for, because when we think about using our hands and our feet, it is our skeletal muscle that uses all of these appendages to do amazing, precise things. If you want to do crazy double strokes with your feet, you need as much strength and precision as possible. And if we decrease the ability for that, you're going to start losing strength and not get the most out of your body. This is really for us all about post-activation potentiation. So after a contraction, there's an increase in potential of your skeletal muscle. And you can look it up. Post-activation potentiation is one of many acute skeletal muscle phenomenon that help your body prepare for subsequent contractions. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 to 2 sets of each of these exercises. It's up to you. 5 to 10 reps of each one, because most of them are just light body weight exercises with the objective of feeling contractions at a high level. Now, one rule as we get into this here today, if you start to experience fatigue, you have to stop, because now we're going from a warm-up to an exercise, and your body actually may decrease in its ability to generate force, which we want to stay away from until you get on the drum set. And ideally, hopefully, that's not happening. And that's actually one of the reasons why I'm here, because you should get so strong that that never happens. But here are the exercises. First exercise we're going to be doing is a seated calf raise exercise. We're going to try and perform all these in unison. And what I want you to do is think about burying all 5 toes into the ground and never let your toes leave the ground. Focus on heavy toes the entire time and do calf raises slowly. If you feel like you're going to cramp, don't go too high. If you feel like you're bouncy and having a hard time contraction, slow down and take your time with each one. The next exercise, we're going to be doing toe taps, which you've probably done a bunch of these in high school. You're going to have your feet planted, and you're going to lift your toes up towards your shin and slam your toes down into the ground. I want you to really try to smash the ground as hard as you can so we get force production, and we're really working on the strength power side of things. Once this feels good, try and do 2, 3, 4, and 5 stroke combinations, but keeping everything unison so we can make sure our left and right foot are doing the same things together. Love this. After, we're going to switch to inversion, eversion. And you'll notice if you look at my left foot, I still have a hard time with this because I broke a bone in my foot. It's a hard one. But keeping your shins straight, practice going from inversion to eversion, drop your arches down, lift up your arches, and go as controlled as you can. And if you feel better, start to speed up a little. You can do this one standing, but I would say try to start off with it seated. What I want you to try to do after you do these 3 is we're going to suspend our ankles in the air, and we're going to actually do toe taps again, but this is now a heel up variation, which is a lot more how many of you play drums. You don't have to do this one, but I find the control with this one is really, really quite a lot, and this is a very powerful, simple exercise. Last exercise, we're going to be doing a seated hip flexion exercise, and you could do this one first if you want. Camera angle worked out well for me, but you'll be seated, strong torso. Right now, to make it easier, start with one leg at a time. Do 3 to 5 on one leg, 3 to 5 on the next, and then you can do a few more, working your way up to 10. If you start feeling more advanced, you can actually try and do both legs at the same time, but your drum throne placement has to be equal if you're sitting on the front of the drum throne. It's just not gonna work. Try these 5 exercises out. Let me know how it goes. But I will say, if anyone watches these videos and they ask, am I against yoga? Am I against stretching? Listen, I will say this. 1, if stretching has worked for you, don't stop doing it. I'm just here to share the risks and help you kind of rationalize it a little bit more. I am not against yoga. Many drummers do yoga, and I think yoga is fantastic. But I will say this in a very public forum. Yoga in the fitness world has really changed. Like, the providence of yoga started off as far as this meditative control, ownership of your body. It was very controlled and very amazing. And then the fitness world really transitioned it into what I would pretty politely say almost like a circus level level of difficulty, where it's how hard can we make it, how many crazy positions can we get to, and that's a very cool feat and skill, but ultimately it's not really, in my opinion, a risk-averse form of fitness. It starts to get risky because we're pulling ourselves into crazy positions where joint damage can happen a lot easier. So I'm not against yoga, but I'm against freakish levels of yoga where you're pushing yourself too hard. And also, it's very difficult if you're doing group yoga classes to feel good about yourself when you're in a competitive setting where someone is doing something and you're like, well, I got to be able to do that. So I'm absolutely not against yoga, but it has to be dosed appropriately. Thank you so much for watching today, everybody. This is Brandon from Drum Mechanics. 5 exercises to warm up your feet. You don't need to stretch them. You can just do these contractions. I absolutely love it. I got pro drummers, pro athletes, and geriatrics of all sorts of different conditioning level doing things just like this, and they feel stronger, better, faster. Stronger drummers play longer. And hey, listen, if you're hanging around here, please like and subscribe, because the bigger this channel gets, the more cool stuff that I can do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon.